See, when you're in these alleyways in our Arizona houses, we don't always get onto the side of the house that we're not often on. So one side of the house we're gonna have a walkway and a gate, and the other side usually doesn't have anything. That side that we don't walk on usually has some damage on it. Why? Because nobody gets over there and looks at it. Just look at the neighbor's house. Just up in here, this is one of those walkways. All this water damage on the roof. This is a 19-year-old house, but for some reason they're missing it, not taking care of it. That's a pretty good leak right there. I don't know, can you pick that up in the video? Looks like it's got to be angled just right in order to see there's a anomaly in the window right here. You can kind of see it if you get the light just right. There you go. On the bottom, on the frame here, we've got gaps. So even water that hits down here, if it finds a hole here, just like on the top of the window, it's going to find its way in here and create issues with your window. Expansion, contraction, expansion, contraction. You can see that window seal is actually blown out right there in the corner. You can see we're missing that window seal. About an inch of it right there. That's likely where the water was coming in at. The moisture. It doesn't have to be water. It can just be moisture, vapor in the air pushing through that crack, and then it gets stuck in between these windows. Now we're stuck with this shit. So the homeowner put this light in here, and it's a nice light. Adds a little bit of ambiance to the pool situation here, but this is a 110 volt, 120 volt light. It's not low voltage. It's not associated with the pool, so is it GFI protected? Absolutely not. Absolutely not. We're right next to the pool, so you got to worry about stuff like that. Too often I run into gates that don't latch correctly. They get stuck and hung up on that pin right there. It's dropped a little bit. You can tell it just needs to come up, and then it makes a good latch. What that usually indicates is that this bolt is pulling out of that fence line. So the fence on the left-hand side here, that bolt is loose, so the gate is actually popped a little bit that way. That's why this side is dropped a little bit. Just like the front door of your house, once those hinges start giving away, it starts affecting the latching mechanism. So don't need a new gate. You just need to retap that hole, put a new bolt in there, and make sure this thing is nice and plumb. Every once in a while we'll find a house with a electrical service entrance that is disconnected. So it's broken right here where the panel and the conduit meet. So this needs to be repaired because now we've got water entry point for all the rainwater, pests, bugs, everything. Not only can pests get down in there, but they could crawl up and go up into the panel and cause problems. That's a major defect right there. So this house was noted to have termite treatment done recently. And why was it done recently? Well, that's for me to find out. And that's one of the reasons right there. That's an old termite tube that's just staining left from a termite tube that's been brushed away. It's still present. That stain doesn't go away until usually they paint over it. But we did find one right behind this water feature, which, what do I tell you? Water brings termites. So this water in this fountain is splashing back here. You can see the stains on the wall and the electrical line there. But we've got a termite tube that's been painted over right there. So you can see whoever noticed it was there, broke it a little bit, noticed nothing was coming out, so they just painted over the top of it and let it go. So I'm not worried about this as long as they had termite treatment done and we have a warranty. But it definitely is something that I'm going to note on the termite report because my clients need to know that these tubes are here whether they're active or not. You tell me what HVAC technician thinks that that's a good way to run that system. We shouldn't have any bends in it more than 90 degrees. That's well over 90 degrees. So that's just going to limit all your airflow to the back bedroom back here, the master. So if the master gets a little bit warm, low airflow, just look at all that fabric right there pinches that duct. So you're losing a lot of the diameter of that duct work just because of the flexion you have going on at that strap. So gotta get rid of this. If there's a better way to just make it a more gradual curve as it comes down instead of these hard curves like that, you get much better airflow. See, there's just better ways to do that. You don't have to strap it to that truss right there. Strap it to that truss and have it gradually dip down into there instead of just having it go up and straight down into it. It's crazy. I've been having to explain this a lot to my clients lately. Now on a split system, half of the system is up in the attic. This is a furnace. You see that flue right there? That means it's a gas furnace. But this still handles all of the airflow for the air conditioning system. So if we produce condensate, we should have the condensate line run through that primary condensate, that PVC line on the right there. And it falls out and it goes down and drains about a foot off the ground outside. Now the secondary drain is only connected to the pan underneath the unit. So quite literally there is nothing else attached to that PVC pipe other than the drain pan. And that one's going to go out the wall and drain about 10 feet off the ground. And that way, if this thing starts dripping above your window or outside above the ground quite a ways, that's telling you that there's a problem. You need to get somebody up here before the water starts finding its way out of the pan and dripping down onto your ceiling below. Now the problem with having a rusted pan, this pan looks fine, but some people leave a rusted pan in even after they fix it. Now a rusted pan, if this gets any worse, it will start eating through that metal and then you'll have a hole in your pan. So anytime that pan is supposed to collect water after that, it's just going to drip down onto your attic floor or your ceiling above. I'm guessing the same person that did the ductwork up here did the drip legs. $5 to anybody to tell me what's wrong with that drip leg. They didn't do it once. They did it twice.